Ever peered at a globe and noticed a gaping hole in most flight routes? That's Antarctica, a land of mystery and extremes. While we jet around the world in hours, Antarctica remains strangely off-limits to commercial flights. Is it the bone-chilling temperatures, the treacherous storms, or something far more sinister? Join us as we peel back the layers of this frozen continent and expose the shocking reason why planes never fly over Antarctica. Get ready to have your mind blown. Antarctica, the unforgiving frozen wilderness. Perched alone on Earth's southernmost tip is the merciless icy wasteland known as Antarctica. It is our fifth largest continent, yet its harsh conditions don't diminish that fact. Scientists have set up bases there because of its mysterious character. Also, anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 people are out there enduring its trials right now. Scientists have long been captivated by its enormous size and the fact that it is practically inhospitable.
It's a bleak and inhospitable place.
They believe it holds countless secrets. The adventure started when a team of researchers in the Scotia Sea, which is located north of Antarctica, found a DNA sample that was 1 million years old. This ancient DNA was retrieved from a location about 584 feet below the surface of the ocean, and is thought to have come from diatoms, a kind of phytoplankton. The details of the DNA are still unknown, but its discovery was groundbreaking enough to spark the idea that Antarctica had changed drastically to become its current frozen state. After finding this ancient DNA, scientists recognized they needed more proof to support their theory that Antarctica went through major changes in its environment and climate throughout the years. Embarking on a treacherous journey, the team was resolute in their pursuit of plant and animal relics from a bygone era. Embarking on the perilous quest to reach the precise area vital to their study, they ventured to South America. They bravely crossed the Drake Passage, one of the world's most dangerous oceans, for 5 days. These courageous researchers, unfazed by the difficulties that lie ahead, set out to unearth artifacts from a bygone age. When they finally made it to shore, their insatiable appetite for discovery took them to James Ross Island, the starting point of their hunting journey. They laboriously combed through rocks for weeks before their efforts yielded results. A fossil bed, including artifacts from the late Cretaceous period, some 71 million years ago, was unearthed by the experts. The fascinating array of marine life, dinosaurs, and prehistoric birds shown by these fossils is truly remarkable. Surrounded by incredible discoveries, they stumbled upon something quite remarkable: the petrified wings of a beetle species that flourished approximately 20 million years ago. The greatest shock, though, occurred when they found sperm cells on an extinct worm species egg case, which were 50 million years old. Because it cast doubt on their prior beliefs regarding the frozen wasteland, this discovery rocked their entire worldview. As time went on, scientists started to get into a new notion. They fantasized about a time when this icy wasteland was a verdant tropical jungle, full with life and towering trees. Indeed, what other explanation could there be for the discovery of dinosaur bones and avian artifacts on the continent? Uncertainty faded away with the passage of time and the revelation of new information. Scientists found a massive icefish breeding colony in the Antarctic Weddell Sea in 2021, which led to a new theory and a number of other groundbreaking discoveries. A whopping 60 million nests were located in this colony, which was concealed by the Filchner ice shelf and lies more than 400 meters below sea level. The scientists used high-tech imaging equipment to determine that the unusual icefish, Neopagitopsis inoa, was the culprit in this colony. Additional proof that life once flourished on this icy planet was offered by this discovery. Additionally, in 2021, geologists made an astonishing find when they unearthed a hidden treasure while drilling beneath the ice. A scientist analyzing the tape later came to a shocking revelation, even though they didn't see anything out of the usual at first. They had reached rock that was home to sponges that were alive and well. Even more astonishing than the sight of sponges living beneath the ice sheets was the presence of other creatures sharing the same habitat. Scientists make fresh, new discoveries. When scientists discovered an unusual gash in the Larsen ice shelf in June of 2020, the surprises continued to mount. They had a suspicion that there was a river that was concealed beneath the ice, and they based their suspicion on their prior discoveries. For the sake of confirming their theory, they made the decision to dig through the ice once more. They simply came upon a river that contained a few species, which came as a complete surprise to them. They instead found an enormous ecosystem that was filled with live organisms. At a depth of around 1,600 feet below the ice, crustaceans that resembled shrimp would smoothly swim. The scientists observed and researched the ecosystem from a distance, staying away from it so as not to disrupt the delicate equilibrium that existed within it. For quite some time, researchers have harbored the suspicion that beneath the snowy surface of Antarctica lies a vast network of rivers, streams, and lakes. Nevertheless, there are a lot of obstacles to overcome when it comes to researching the distinctive characteristics of this frozen continent. The research team was taken aback by the unexpected discoveries that they made when they were on their journey. The underground chamber that they came across was completely different from anything that they had envisioned, which was contrary to their projections. The roof of the cavern was rough and uneven, with a greater number of sharp undulations than other parts of the structure. As they proceeded farther into the investigation, they uncovered yet another astounding discovery. A total of 5 separate layers, each of which flowed in a different direction, were present in the underground water column. This elaborate layout contributed to the complexity of the underground system that was already present. It was a fortunate turn of events that the group was able to locate the hidden river just a few days before the devastating eruption of the mighty Hungertonga Hung Harpy volcano. The seismic waves that were produced by the eruption and reverberated through the buried cavern were detected by the sensors that they had carefully installed on the icy surface. As luck would have it, they were. An explosive volcanic eruption that was taking place thousands of kilometers distant had a direct impact on this subglacial chamber that was buried 1,600 feet beneath the ice in Antarctica. This was an astonishing conclusion that became clear to them. In this moment, the scientists were certain beyond a shadow of a doubt that the mysteries that were hidden beneath the ice of the continent were not restricted to organisms alone. This hidden mountain range boasted heights that were equivalent to 1/3 of the majestic Mount Everest, while stretching an astounding 1,200 kilometers wide and towering 3,000 meters high. In addition, scientists recently discovered a massive mountain range that was hidden beneath the icy depths of Antarctica. This discovery was a groundbreaking discovery. To conceal its actual nature from the view of human beings, every square inch of its surface was covered in a flawless white coat of ice. It was when scientists discovered irregular variations in gravity that they became aware of the existence of this mysterious mountain range. This finding became a source of fascination for them. Readings taken by gravitational and magnetic forces have supplied unmistakable confirmation of the existence of this miracle, despite the fact that no one has ever seen it in person. A treasure trove of hidden mysteries that were waiting to be revealed was hinted at by the mere idea that such a massive construction was buried beneath the frozen landscape. In light of the fact that physically digging the ice sheets would be fraught with danger, the scientists concluded that a virtual exploration would be more appropriate. As a result, they conducted an in-depth investigation into the map of the Earth's gravity, utilizing information obtained from the European Space Agency. They were able to mimic the melting of the Antarctic ice by utilizing this priceless knowledge in conjunction with satellite data. This allowed them to gain a view of the rocky landscape beneath the ice that had never been seen before, Antarctica's ancient past. A fascinating tale, an indisputable proof of Antarctica's ancient past, as a component of the supercontinent Gondwana, unfolded within the exposed bedrock. Gondwana was the connecting landmass of the continents in the southern hemisphere about 180 million years ago. Transforming ice into a digital format revealed artifacts from that epoch, providing a physical link to the beginning of time. With these astounding findings, there was no longer any doubt that the scientists were indeed heading in the correct direction. But these findings also prompted an important inquiry. For what catastrophic reasons had these changes been triggered? Every aspect of our world, including the location we call home, has changed drastically throughout the course of evolution. To be sure, Antarctica's massive transformation necessitated an explanation of monumental proportions. The thoughts of these trailblazing scientists gave rise to two convincing hypotheses. Initially, it was thought that the ice that currently encircles Antarctica was caused by a change in the world climate. An epoch preceding the Cenozoic era saw Antarctica flourish in a relatively warm climate, ornamented with varied vegetation. Warm enough for dinosaurs to wander freely, the continent's typical temperatures ranged from 30 to 51 degrees Fahrenheit. Continental drift continued long after the extinction catastrophe that killed off all known animals. But the world's climate changed dramatically around 34 million years ago. As a result of a precipitous drop of 5 degrees Celsius in normal temperatures, Antarctica began to freeze. The temperature shift has been going on for around 66 million years at the start of the Cenozoic period, albeit it doesn't seem like much now. Throughout this time, the levels of carbon dioxide were falling. After CO2 levels dropped below a certain point, scientists saw a chilling change in the temperature. The massive ice sheets and glaciers that eventually encircled the entire continent were formed as a result of this. The icy beauty of Antarctica may, therefore, reveal secrets about Earth's evolution and its own history. But there was insufficient data to support the first theory, no matter how attractive it was. That being the case, researchers came up with a backup hypothesis that put the continents freezing down to sudden shifts in ocean currents. According to this view, the Drake Passage, which links Antarctica with the southern point of South America, saw an abrupt deepening about 35 million years ago. A major restructuring of ocean circulation, including the formation of the Antarctic Circumpolar Current, was set in motion by this deepening. This freshly developed circulation was like a giant seawall, keeping the milder, less salty North Atlantic and Central Pacific waters at arm's length. Eventually, the continent froze because the water stopped flowing southern towards Antarctica, which led to a drop in temperature. Though both hypotheses made sense on their own, scientists and visionaries like Musk came to believe that they offered the best explanation for the continent's change, and thus they were finally linked. Their research indicated that due to the Drake Passage deepening, ocean circulation patterns changed, similar to what is seen in the Gulf Stream. As a result of this alteration, the ocean currents shifted, sending warmer waters northward. Rainfall intensified consequently. Rainfall that does not stop is essential for the process of silicate weathering, which lowers atmospheric carbon dioxide levels. As precipitation eroded silicate-containing rocks, carbon dioxide was trapped in limestone formations, a process known as silicate weathering. The dramatic decline in atmospheric CO2 levels accelerated the melting of the continent's surface, transforming it into a vast ice sheet. This convincing theory is in line with the most current findings about ocean circulation patterns and climate change. At present, however, the consequences are turning back the hands of time 35 million years ago. Late in 2022, sudden and simultaneous heat waves hit both of Earth's polar regions. Arctic temperatures rose by 6 degrees Fahrenheit, or 3.3 degrees Celsius, above normal, while Antarctica's average temperature reached an all-time high of 8.6 degrees Fahrenheit, or 4.8 degrees Celsius. Antarctic ozone layer has depleted. Furthermore, on World Ozone Day in the year 2022, a crucial finding about the ozone layer was brought to light. During this time period, researchers have made the discovery that the ozone layer in Antarctica has been depleted, resulting in the formation of a gigantic hole that is larger than the entire United States. Consequently, geologists and other specialists have started to raise the alarm about the possibility that the depletion of the ozone layer could be a contributor to global warming. This, in turn, would result in the entire melting of the ice that is found in Antarctica. An ominous occurrence has already started to take place, which is a really terrible development. Over the past few days, researchers have uncovered a shocking finding. The enormous A76A iceberg, which is the largest known iceberg in the world, has broken loose from its shelf in Antarctica and is currently making its way towards the perilous Drake Passage to continue its trip. This enormous ice formation is approximately 84 miles long and 16 miles wide. Its length is over 400 miles. This glacial giant is destined to progressively melt away as it travels along its path, creating a dire risk of significantly increased sea levels that might eventually lead to catastrophic catastrophe. The amazing retreat of another ancient ice sheet has also been brought to light by a recent study. This ice sheet is melting away at a mind-boggling speed of 2,000 feet per day. This discovery has provided scientists with important new information regarding the potential for rapid melting of ice in Antarctica and the implications that this could have for the levels of seawater around the world as a result of it. During the last phases of the previous ice age, areas of a massive ice sheet that covered Eurasia receded at a rate that exceeded 2,000 feet per day. This is a distance that is greater than the height of the Empire State Building. This phenomenon astonished researchers. This unprecedented rate of retreat contradicts what scientists once regarded to be the upper limits for ice sheet regression. This rate of retreat has never been seen before. It is important to understand the rate at which ice in Greenland and Antarctica could melt, which would lead to an increase in the level of the oceans throughout the world. The discovery has substantial consequences for this understanding. By keeping a close eye on the rate at which ice sheets are melting, scientists are able to more accurately determine the extent to which they are contributing to the rise in sea levels around the world. Over the course of the 1990s, Antarctica and Greenland have seen a loss of more than 6.4 trillion metric tons of ice, which has led to an increase in world sea levels of at least 17.8 millimeters. By themselves, these two ice sheets are responsible for more than 1/3 of the overall rise in sea levels. This is a remarkable reality. During the process of retreating towards land, the ice sheets become detached from the bottom, which causes them to float and further accelerates their movement. It is because of this rapid flow that the contribution to the rise in sea levels is increased. Consequently, if air and ocean temperatures surrounding Antarctica were to increase as projected, matching the conditions observed at the end of the previous ice age, researchers warned that the ice could retreat hundreds of feet in a single day, triggering the collapse of contemporary glaciers at a much faster pace than previously anticipated. Antarctica continues to be the epicenter of scientific discoveries, and it is a region that is particularly rich in unexpected findings, despite the fact that the Earth is currently facing an immediate threat. In order to provide some perspective, when we think about deserts, we typically image sandy plains that are extremely hot. On the other hand, would you believe that Antarctica is actually home to the largest desert on the planet? This is a site that is absolutely hypnotic, as it is extremely arid and characterized by strong winds. In actuality, it receives as little as 50 millimeters of rain annually, despite the fact that an astounding 99% of the continent is covered in ice. The McMurdo Dry Valleys, on the other hand, are a fascinating location that may be found inside the remaining 1%. Why exactly can't planes fly over Antarctica? The major and most obvious reason is the extremely cold weather. The Antarctic environment is not exactly conducive to human habitation. Workers must undergo months of specialized training before they can even consider going to an area with some of the world's coldest and most extreme temperatures. The Antarctic environment is not exactly conducive to human habitation. Workers must undergo months of specialized training before they can even consider going to an area with some of the world's coldest and most extreme temperatures. Plus, the only people you're likely to see there are researchers and workers. Research facilities make up the vast majority of Antarctica's human communities. Planes certainly don't stop by for pleasure because the location isn't a popular tourist destination. Plus, the only people you're likely to see there are researchers and workers. Research facilities make up the vast majority of Antarctica's human communities. Planes certainly don't stop by for pleasure because the location isn't a popular tourist destination. Obviously, that's not the kind of weather that planes should be flying in. And it's also not the kind of weather that will have you enjoying your vacation anytime soon. The presence of ice poses a significant risk, even in the absence of such absurdly low temperatures. For flights in cold weather, de-icing is already a must. Based on the plane's size and the amount of de-icing fluid used, the cost of each de-icing session can easily reach hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars. The anti-icing solutions, such as electrical heating on board to keep the wings warm and melt ice, are not even taken into consideration at this point. Think about how much it would cost to accomplish all that just to get ready to fly over one of the world's coldest locations. There is also a very small window of time, just a few minutes after de-icing a plane, during which it is safe to fly, even in frigid weather conditions elsewhere. When flying over Antarctica, that window would be very small, or not non-existent at all. The McMurdo Dry Valleys. The McMurdo Dry Valleys are like stepping into another planet when you set foot inside them. The terrain is dominated by enormous sand dunes that can reach heights of up to 30 meters and widths of up to 200 meters. These gorgeous dunes are of great significance to scholars, despite the fact that you cannot surf down their slopes. Scientists find the arid valleys to be an intriguing location since they have a climate that is comparable to that of Mars. They believe that if they were to discover the mysteries that lurk within this region, it would reveal information about life on other planets. Regrettably, these lovely dunes are in the process of moving. An alarming rate of around 1.5 meters each year is the source of their gradual but steady movement, and it should come as no surprise that this is the case. Climate change is occurring. The ice begins to melt as the temperature of the atmosphere rises, and the sand dunes start to gradually become flatter. In light of this understanding, scientists have been compelled to take immediate action, race against the clock, in order to solve the riddles surrounding these dynamic dunes before they disappear for good. On the other hand, it only becomes more intriguing. Antarctica, despite its cold circumstances, is home to a particularly disturbing secret, according to the findings of scientists who have discovered it. Those that are volcanic. There are 4 dormant volcanoes on Ross Island, and each one has its own story to tell by virtue of its own distinct characteristics. A single volcano, on the other hand, has not been willing to go to sleep. Mount Erebus, which is the second tallest volcano in Antarctica, and at an astounding height of 3,800 meters, is the volcano that is the most southernly active on the planet. Over the course of the last 3 decades, the volcanic activity of this region has even become more intense. Take into consideration the breathtaking beauty of Mount Erebus, a natural marvel of extraordinary proportions. After a remarkable 1.3 million years, its blazing core continues to throb with molten magma, while time-honored lava lakes continue to boil. Unfortunately, when it comes to exploring this majestic volcano, scientists are rarely given the opportunity to do so because of its distant position and the hazardous weather conditions that it experiences. Nevertheless, in 2013, a courageous group of researchers was able to break through its barriers and achieve their goals. They arrived at the peak after enduring an arduous trek that included driving through snow, boulders, and glaciers. In the midst of the unbearable heat of the volcano, they were astounded to find light thriving. As a result of the thriving microorganisms that were discovered in the ice caves, experts have come to the conclusion that these extreme critters are among the most fascinating and unusual that our planet has to offer. However, new discoveries made by scientists in the vastness of Antarctica have revealed something that is much more unsettling: the discovery of the Ross Ice Shelf. It seems like an alien tune is resonating from one of the icy giants on the continent. This enormous ice sheet, which is several hundred meters thick and covers an area bigger than France, is known as the Ross Ice Shelf and is the biggest ice shelf in Antarctica. An unsettling secret was recently discovered by scientists. Those are the melodies of the Ross Ice Shelf. As the winds delicately traverse the ice shelf's snow dunes, the eerie tune begins to play. There is a constant seismic hum because the winds cause surface vibrations as they blow by. Even though these vibrations are audible to humans, scientists have used seismic sensors to record the melancholy melody. The installation of the sensors to monitor other ice shelf events coincidentally led to this fascinating discovery. Scientists uncovered an intriguing discovery as they continued to investigate. As it adapts to its surroundings, the ice shelf's song changes. The composition of the melody is affected by factors such as snowstorms that move the snow and melting snow. Scientists can now use the mesmerizing melody as a useful tool to track the ice shelf's stability and susceptibility in real time. Scientists can learn more about the shifts by tuning in to the seismic hum. Curiously, it has long been known by experts that this iceberg originates from Antarctica, the very continent that was last home to a verdant tropical rainforest. It must have been an absolutely stunning sight. As things are, though, no one wants this ice to melt because of the catastrophic effects it would have on Earth and its inhabitants. Consequently, there has been a marked increase in study attempts to better understand the causes of the radical change. The scientific community is working hard to decipher the causes of this seismic shift in the hopes of developing preventative measures. It raises the intriguing notion that Antarctica was once a tropical rainforest. Furthermore, should we stop tampering with nature if doing so could lead to the end of our civilization? Let us know in the comments what you think about the Great Antarctica. Be sure to like this video and subscribe and click on the next video popping up on your screen now.